Hello, this is Mark Sabatella from Outside Shore Music. In this video, I'm going to show you a few different ways of getting from 5 to 1. Scale degree 5 to scale degree 1 in particular in the bass, and taking exactly 4 notes to do it. Now that sounds like a really specific thing to do, but you'd be surprised at how often it comes up. I first kind of became aware of how this comes up thinking about walking bass lines in jazz. And you have a whole measure, you're playing 4 quarter notes, and you're trying to get from 5 to 1. You got a couple different ways of doing it. But it comes up all the time in classical music as well, and this is what I'm going to be showing you here. So what I'm looking at here is a Clemente Santina, and in particular, I've got this measure right here, measure 4. And so I have the 5 chord, and now here we want the bass to take 4 notes to get to C. Well, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the easy way to do it. That is the absolute no-brainer way to do it. It's been done thousands, no, millions of times, I'm sure. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 gets you from 5 to 1 in 4 notes. So 4 eighth notes in this case. It could be 4 quarter notes if you're going at a slower pace. Could be 4 sixteenth notes. But it's a very common thing to want to do. Now, I'm trying to write a piece that's similar to this one, but I don't want to copy too much about it. So let me show you my piece. And here is my version of things where I'm using Clemente's exact bass pattern. So that's this measure right here. Whoops. So I could totally do that, but the question is, do I want to be that similar to what Clemente did? It ends on a C. You just have to pretend I wrote the C in there. There you go. Now, if I'm looking for alternatives, the main alternative to walking down is to walk up. But you instantly realize a problem. You get there a little too soon. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get there a little too soon, right? So I want to show you I'll first show you the traditional classical way of solving that problem. What I will do is I will go ahead and put a G on the downbeat here. And now on beat 3, I'm going to put another note. I could either make it say a B, and then start my line like this. So it's 3, 1, 2, 3, boom. That like that. That'll get you there. Or scale degrees. I should be talking scale degrees. I was talking chord tones. If I talk scale degrees, that's 7, 5, 6, 7, 1. Or you could think solfege. It's Ti, Sol, La, Ti, Do. Right? That kind of pattern. Boom. Where you put some other note on the downbeat and then just start your ascent kind of on the second of the 4 notes. It could be that B. It could be a D. You could go. Or it could be another G. Doesn't actually matter that much which other note you put. Well, you want it to be a chord tone. It's probably either going to be one of those 3 chord tones there. So you put you put a B, or you put one of those chord tones on the B, and then start your ascent with the second note of the 4. So that's sort of a typical classical approach to the problem. There is a really typical jazz approach, and if I want to make this sound like jazz, it's going to go something like this. That right there. Something like that. I might start it with this G and then come down to this G, and it's G, A, and now you can either call it B flat or A sharp. I think I'm going to call it A sharp, B, C, so you're playing 1, 2, 3, but you're putting a chromatic passing tone between 2 and 3. And again, I'm calling these 2 and 3 because I'm within the G chord. That's the 1, the 2, and the 3. Scale degree wise, that 5, 6, sharp 6, 7, 1. I think of it more, though, in terms of chord tones, because we can use the same type of pattern, not just to get from 5 to 1, but any circle of fifths progression, to get from 2 to 5 or from 6 to 2. 2, 5, 1, right? You can use that pattern all over the place. So you can mix and match all of these patterns, sometimes walking down like that, sometimes doing this version where you do the little skip, and then sometimes doing this one where you take that little baby step passing tone. And that is always the place where we do the passing tone. You could try to squeeze it in there, and yeah, for variety occasionally, but this exact pattern, it's essentially giving it both the minor third and major third. That pattern ends up being super common, and it's great because it works whether you're starting with a minor chord or a major chord. Like to get from 2 to 5, 2, that's all chord tones. This is my passing tone, 5. Passing tone, chord tone. So if you're on a minor chord, the third note is a chord tone, the fourth is the passing tone. But if you're on a major chord, the third note is the passing tone, and the fourth note is the chord tone. But the exact same pattern works either way. It's really a jazzism for sure. It's going to sound out of place in a piece that's trying to sound like Clemente, so I'm probably not going to use it in my piece. Unless I do. We'll see. But anyhow, that's a few different ways of getting from 5 to 1 in exactly 4 steps.